Hey, this is Paul Kane, head brewer for Southern Tier Brewing. You're watching Chad's beer reviews, and I will go ahead and tell you that Chad is probably the biggest beer geek at Tap New York by a long shot.
Whether it's a lager or an ale, whether it's a stout, light, dark, or pale, if you can brew it, Chad can review it. It's time for Chad's Beer Reviews. He's not quite an amateur, not quite a connoisseur, but regardless of the brewer, he's got taste in beer for sure. You can tell just by his gut, this guy is a bona fide beer nut. So whether it's a porter or an IPA, whether it's from Europe or the USA, if you can brew it, Chad can review it. It's time for Chad's Beer Reviews.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. Dave from Brew Crew is joining us.
Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, it's been a while since you were here.
Yeah, it's been a busy summer.
Yeah. Busy working, huh?
Oh yeah.
Well, in this economy, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We're doing a beer tonight that is like, people always ask me, like, I can't believe you haven't reviewed this yet, because if you've been watching me, you know I'm a huge Southern Tier fan, and a huge IPA fan, so what would be a more appropriate beer for me to review than Southern Tier's Imperial IPA, the Unearthly. Not to be confused with the 2X IPA, which is also a double IPA. Alright, so start with the appearance here. It's definitely that trademark double IPA kind of, like, where it's the real hazy orange, almost like a burnt umber.
Yeah, you do get that color. It looks like an IPA, but it's just not transparent like your typical American style.
Yeah, neither of us got a whole lot of head there. Probably because it's a high alcohol. It smells, it's that East Coast IPA all the way. Just pine.
You get the pine. I get a lot of that. That's that caramel malt character you get from one IPA or double IPA, should I say?
Yeah, it's like real. There's almost that, like almost kind of like a. I hate to use the word, but it's kind of turpentine kind of smell from the booze. This is 11%, and usually Southern Tier is pretty good at masking the alcohol in their beers. So I'll be interested to see if they mask it in the palate. So cheers. Oh. That's almost like, Dave actually told me this off camera, but I agree with you. It's very barley wine like. It's like most IPA, especially double IPA, is like a hop bomb. It's almost like a malt bomb.
Yeah, definitely you get that. You get the hops in the finish, but mainly just a really sweet, very syrupy consistency in your mouth.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Syrupy, very thick. Sticky too.
Yeah, it is.
It's like I want to put this on some pancakes or something.
It really just got a really nice consistency. It just like slides it right over your tongue.
Yeah. It's a sipper though.
It is. It's a dessert beer.
Yeah.
Something that you'd sip at night, after having a meal.
Your typical double IPA of like 8-9%, I can usually chug down easily, but this beer it's pretty intense. There's a nice warmth to it as it's crossing your palate too.
I do think they mask the alcohol very well in this.
Yeah.
For an 11% beer, it's pretty drinkable. I mean, it's thick and syrupy, but I could see myself putting one of these down and not really thinking it was 11%.
Yeah, there's I'm starting to get like that kind of English kind of barley wine. The fruity notes you kind of get of like a plum or raisin, maybe some cherry.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the predominant flavor for me in the malts is definitely it's like a caramel stickiness right up front.
Yeah.
I do get that a fruitiness in there. It's hard to really describe it.
Yeah. You know what? I'd say it's actually, maybe this is just me, but it's reminding me more of like butterscotch than caramel. What would you What would you rate this on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. It's really, but the one thing is for IPA drinkers, it's really, it's one of those that blur, when other beer word blurs lines.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't get like the in your face like punch from the hops as much. It's more like a sipper, like you said,
Yeah.
very syrupy, very sweet. But I think it's delicious, and it's very well rounded beer, and they mass the alcohol really amazingly well in here.
Yeah. I'm kind of on the fence between an 8 and a 9. It's definitely, there is some wow factor there, but at the same time, I mean, I always try to go into a beer with like as little expectations as possible, and sometimes you already have a preconceived notion of, because of what you heard or because of the brewer's reputation or something like that. This is definitely a lot different than I thought it was going to be, but I like it for what it is. I think I will go 8 on this one. I think it's a very good beer. It's not quite knocking my socks off the way that a 9 or a 10 would. Thanks again to Dave for coming out, and I'm going 8 out of 10 on this.
I'm 9 out of 10.
You're 9? Okay, so it's still a pretty damn good beer. So thanks to Southern Tier for continuing to make such great beers. I'm definitely going to try to get to the oak age version and the Gemini before this year is up. So that is it for this episode. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm going to just spill it.
Then movers.